Imagine living in a country where making a simple phone call is almost impossible. Imagine waiting months, sometimes even years, just to have a telephone line installed. Today, it sounds unbelievable. But in Zimbabwe during the early 1990s, this was everyday life. Businesses struggled to communicate with customers. Families waited endlessly for telephone connections. Opportunities were lost before conversations could even begin. Communication was controlled by a state-owned monopoly. Competition simply did not exist. Most people believed nothing could change, but one man believed otherwise. His name was Strive Masiyiwa. He wasn't born into extraordinary wealth. He wasn't backed by political power. He was an engineer with a vision, a man who believed that ordinary Africans deserved world-class communication. What followed was one of the longest and most significant business battles in Zimbabwe's modern history. It was a battle fought not with weapons, but with determination, patience, and the courage to challenge the impossible. Welcome to African Wealth Files, where we don't chase views, we earn trust. Born on the 29th of January 1961, Strive Masiyiwa spent part of his childhood in Zambia before pursuing electrical and electronic engineering at the University of Wales in the United Kingdom. After completing his studies, he faced a choice: remain overseas, where opportunities were plentiful, or return home to help build a young nation. He chose Zimbabwe. It was a decision driven not by comfort, but by purpose. As an engineer, he quickly recognized one of the country's greatest challenges. Zimbabwe's telecommunications system could no longer meet the growing needs of its people. Telephone lines were scarce. Businesses struggled to operate efficiently. Families remained disconnected. Most people saw a broken system. Strive Masiyiwa saw an opportunity to build something better. He believed technology could transform lives. But before he could build a company, he would first have to fight for the right to exist. In the early 1990s, Zimbabwe's telecommunications industry was controlled by a government monopoly. Private companies were not permitted to offer public telecommunications services. For Strive Masiyiwa, this was more than a business obstacle. It was a barrier preventing innovation, investment, and economic growth. Believing that competition would benefit the country, his company applied for a license to build a private mobile network. The answer was clear: no. The application was rejected. Many entrepreneurs would have accepted the decision and searched for another opportunity. Strive Masiyiwa chose a different path. He believed that Zimbabwe's constitution protected the freedom to conduct business fairly. Rather than giving up, he challenged the government's position in court. What followed was one of the most significant legal battles in Zimbabwe's business history. Year after year, the case continued. The uncertainty affected investors. It delayed business plans. It tested the patience of everyone involved. Friends questioned whether the struggle was worth it. Business leaders wondered why he refused to walk away. But Strive remained convinced that he was fighting for something much larger than one company. He later spoke publicly about how his Christian faith gave him strength during those difficult years. Prayer, perseverance, and purpose became the foundation that carried him through moments of uncertainty. Finally, after years of legal proceedings, Zimbabwe's Supreme Court ruled in his favor, paving the way for private participation in the telecommunications sector. The judgment was a turning point. It demonstrated that persistence, supported by the rule of law, could create opportunities that once seemed impossible. For Strive Masiyiwa, the victory was deeply significant, but winning the case was only the beginning. Now came the harder challenge: building a company capable of transforming an entire industry. Winning the legal battle was a defining moment, but a court victory alone could not build a telecommunications network. Now, Strive Masiyiwa faced an entirely different challenge, turning a vision into a functioning business. Building a mobile network required enormous investment. Telecommunications towers had to be constructed. Engineers had to be recruited and trained. Equipment had to be imported. Every dollar invested carried risk. Every decision mattered. Starting a mobile telecommunications company in the late 1990s was not simply about selling phones. It meant creating infrastructure that millions of people would depend on every day. Slowly, the first network sites were completed. The first customers joined. One phone call became 10. 10 became 1,000. Thousands became millions. Across Zimbabwe, mobile phones began changing everyday life. Farmers could speak with buyers without traveling long distances. Small business owners could contact customers instantly. Parents working far from home could speak to their children more often. Communication became faster. Business became easier. Opportunities expanded. Econet was no longer just another company. It had become part of Zimbabwe's economic transformation. As the business grew stronger, its ambitions grew as well. The company expanded beyond Zimbabwe through investments and partnerships in other African markets. Strive Masiyiwa believed that Africa did not need to wait for the future. Africa could build it. His leadership style focused on long-term thinking. Rather than chasing quick profits, he invested in innovation, people, and technology. He believed great companies are built by solving real problems, not by following short-term trends. Over time, Econet became one of Africa's most recognized telecommunications brands. But success never changed the lesson that started it all. The greatest opportunities are often hidden inside the greatest challenges. There is an old saying, the greatest opportunities are often hidden inside the biggest problems. When Strive Masiyiwa looked at Zimbabwe's telecommunications crisis, he didn't see a broken system. He saw a future waiting to be built. His journey reminds us that success is rarely immediate. It is earned through perseverance, through sacrifice, through difficult decisions, and through the courage to continue when the outcome is uncertain. Today, millions of people across Africa use technologies that were once considered impossible to build. Businesses communicate in seconds. Families stay connected across borders. Young entrepreneurs launch companies using nothing more than a smartphone and an internet connection. These changes did not happen overnight. They were built by people willing to challenge what others accepted. But perhaps Strive Masiyiwa's greatest contribution is not measured by the number of customers connected or the value of the companies he helped build. It is measured by the example he set. He proved that an African entrepreneur could build a globally respected company. He showed that innovation could begin in Africa, and he reminded an entire generation that persistence is often more powerful than talent. Every entrepreneur watching this documentary should remember one lesson: never build a business simply because you want to make money. Build a business because you want to solve a meaningful problem. When you solve problems consistently, success often follows. Here at African Wealth Files, we believe Africa is filled with untold stories of vision, resilience, and innovation. Stories that deserve to be documented, stories that deserve to be remembered, and stories that deserve to inspire future generations. If you enjoyed this documentary, subscribe to African Wealth Files and join us as we uncover the remarkable people and businesses shaping Africa's future. Until next time, keep learning, keep building, and keep believing in Africa. This has been African Wealth Files. We don't chase views, we earn trust. Fade to black.